Greetings and salutations, everybody. I'm back with another review for one that is not an indie. It's not a throwback, not a second chance, but current for Last Night in Soho from 2021. Last Night in Soho is starring Thomas and Mackenzie, who I'm mainly familiar with from Jojo Rabbit, which I highly recommend. It was a great film. Anya Taylor-Joy from New Mutants, which I do not recommend. Not going to go into it any more than that, but her other works have been great, such as Split and Witch. And I mean, come on, she made a show about chess. The Queen's Gambit actually be entertaining. And yeah, I know there's writers and directors involved, but still, her performance was absolutely amazing in that show. We've also got Matt Smith, who I mainly know as the 11th Doctor from Doctor Who, which has some of my favorite storylines or some of the episodes that he was in. I'm more of a new Whovian, which means, Ninth Doctor and onward. And before I move on, we also have Terrence Stamp, who, as expected, is great. And one that I'm not familiar with is Michael Ajao. I don't know how to say his last name, unfortunately, but he does a really great job in this, and I just immediately loved his character. So this film is written and directed by Edgar Wright, who I'm mainly familiar with from his directorial works in the Cornetto trilogy, Scott Pilgrim, Baby Driver, and this show I watched years ago called Spaced that he had been involved with as well. But anyways, the synopsis for this is as follows. An aspiring fashion designer is mysteriously able to enter the 1960s where she encounters a dazzling wannabe singer. However, the glamour is not all it appears to be, and the dreams of the past start to crack and splinter into something far darker. So yes, I think that's really a great synopsis that kind of tells you what this movie is about. It really had a great trailer as well. Just letting us know kind of what it's about, who's in it, who directed it. And once I saw the trailer, I was fully on board with checking out this film, and I was not disappointed. Now, there were some mixed reviews about this out there from what I understand, but there were also some stellar ones, and those stellar ones are the ones that I kind of agree with. Because going into this, my biggest worry, seeing how psychedelic everything looked, was that I wasn't going to understand it. The trailer had so much wild and dazzling shots throughout it, and it also put in some aspects about mental health and hallucinations and so on. And I was worried that maybe it would be a little bit too out there for me to grasp, similar to the worry that I had when I first checked out Fried Berry, knowing, and there's a link to that in my description, just knowing that it was going to be very out there and very strange visual styles and everything. But it didn't bring me out of it. This film easily introduces our main characters, our main character, who she is, what her interests are, and that she's heading to London to attend a fashion school. I connected with her right away, and even as a quick intro to the character played by Michael Ajao went really smoothly, just really pulled me right in, and you kind of never felt like anything was dragging leading up to that. So throughout this story, as it mentions in a synopsis, she's having these visits, these visions at night of being in the 1960s. And that style for presenting those scenes are orchestrated in this amazing way. Between a mix of practical effects and digital work that they're doing, this excellent set design, excellent lighting. It's simply some of the most beautiful and interestingly shot scenes I'd seen in quite a long time. Probably, and it's strange to even compare it, probably since Fried Berry, which also had this very stylized look to a lot of these strange scenes that were going on. But ultimately, I think this film really rings through to me as more of a mystery than anything else. And luckily, I avoided any spoilers before seeing this. But a lot of this was kind of marketed like it was a horror film, and I didn't really feel like it was horror. I definitely felt like it was a psychological thriller, more of a mystery. And going into with that, I think it really went well. I loved how they were kind of slowly unfolding everything about this story. We spend time both in our main character's current daily life as well as the flashbacks to the 60s, which is where, of course, all this mystery starts. And as she's kind of getting caught up in what she's witnessing in those trips, it's a trip, no pun intended, or screw, we'll go ahead and have that pun. Anyways, so this has her kind of questioning her own sanity, to know what's really going on with her and why she's having these visions and how it's linking to some stuff happening in current day from stuff that happened over 60 years ago. One nice thing that I want to point out is that I didn't really gravitate to one time period or another. I didn't really go to one era or another. If I was in the 60s, I was really enjoying that. When she's back in current day, I was really loving that. They never went to this point where one of them was the one that you were always waiting to get to or to get back to. I think everything was really even with that, where you were interested in finding out more about what was happening in the past, as well as seeing what's currently happening, in the current day and how it's affecting her life. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great mystery, and as they often do, they had some nice twists and turns in it. And yeah, I made a review, so obviously I'm making this because I highly recommend this film. I mean, it's got a great story, great cinematography, great performances, which I gotta say before I wrap this up, Matt Smith was also great, and I love seeing him outside of The Doctor because I hadn't really kept up with his career, and I know he's done a lot of other work, but it was great seeing him play a very different character from what I'd seen before. Great seeing all these actors in there, and I just think they did a really great job. So anyways, just want to give a quick little review on that. So go ahead and check this one out. Just check it out, pay to rent it, or buy the Blu-ray, or do whatever means you have to go ahead and check this one out. Especially if it's still in the theaters where you are, go ahead and out there and check it out. Um, if you're in any way a fan of Edgar Wright's films or any of the cast that's in this or of the 60s or just mysteries in general, I think you would really enjoy this. And at least I hope you will. And speaking of hope, I hope you enjoyed this video. Here comes a thing with, all that like and stuff. So yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this thing around. Hit that bell so you'll know when I put a new video up. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Adios.